So, Rutger, what's the way forward for you? Do you see yourself as a scholar? Do you see yourself as a sadhaka? How do you see this going forward?
Yes, I do see myself more as a sadhaka than anything else, not so much as a scholar. Scholars, I don't know, it's not my really, well, I mean, I have to sometimes study and use obviously it's brilliant to use your mind, but that should not be the aim. So the sadhaka way of life is living, being on this journey and experiencing every moment of your life, the wisdom of Vedanta, and putting all these wonderful philosophical things into practice. So not much use talking about them in a way, we need to actually put them into practice. And that's going to stand to us. So, if I can help people, for example, when I've discovered wonderful things, I want to pass them on to everybody. So children, as I'm a teacher, I can pass them on to children. And adults, we also teach philosophy classes to adults. So in all those areas, whatever I've learned, I can pass it on to others and feel very happy to do so. It's as it says in the Taittiriya Upanishad, learn and teach. Learn and teach. So Svadhyaya Pravakshane Cha. Yeah, so that's the whole concept. I totally get that.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you, but thank you. That answer was a clarifying answer for me at least. To think of the pursuit more as a sadhaka than as a scholar. Thank you for enlightening that, and framing it this way.
Right. Okay.
I'd like to ask another question. I know you have made Sanskrit a way of life. Do you have any other hobbies other than Sanskrit, or what are your other areas of interest?
Oh, yes. So
I'm curious to know that.
Okay, I can tell you. So in my spare time, I go do a lot of hill walking and mountain climbing, and then cycling. So the body needs some attention as well. So it needs to stay fit. Otherwise, you can't complete the journey easily when you're getting older. So it's important to look after the body as well. And luckily, I have a lot of friends who also love cycling, hiking in the mountains. And I've gone to many countries to climb, serious steep mountains with ropes. And so I love all that outdoor pursuit. It's a little bit dangerous, and I love the danger aspect. And it's also safe because you're attached to a rope. So if you fall, your guide will look after you. And I've had some close experiences which were not so good, but it has been all worth it. So mostly it's the outdoor pursuits like mountain climbing and that. And then I've done some parachute jumping and so other things like that, but it's mostly been rock face climbing and walking in the mountains. So this afternoon, after this session now, I'll be cycling around in near Dublin, in the parks and in the beautiful places. So yeah, I look forward to
a healthy mind and a healthy body. So
yes,
I think to sum it up.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
I'm tempted to say we should actually go to Ireland and do a cycling expedition sometime.
You should. You're so welcome.
Thank you. Yes, we should plan for it.
You know the difference between a guru and a school teacher? I think if you take Sanskrit as the guru and you take all of the languages like just ordinary teachers. So what do ordinary teachers do? They leave their students after the day. They forget about them. They don't feel responsible for them. They just do a little bit. They have some knowledge. If you take Sanskrit language, it's like the guru language. It's always there for you. It's always serving you, looking after you, 24/7. It takes full responsibility for your development. Complete, like there's nothing left out. And it won't stop until your goal is reached. The guru won't let you down until you have come to the end of the journey. So I think that's how Sanskrit is in comparison to other languages. So it's like the guru language, and the others are like just shikshaka or dhyapaka languages. They don't really, they can do a little bit, but they are not really going to get there the full way, no.
And according to you, that's the reason one should learn Sanskrit?
Yes, yeah.
This answer was truly enlightening and also very reassuring. So shall we move on to the last question?
I had one question before that.
Okay.
Rutger, you shared so many sayings from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Upanishad. Which is your favorite? Do you have a personal favorite or favorites on this?
Well, there's one I want to display to you because it's so important to me. And so I'm going to just see if I can share it now. And it's from Sri Shantananda Saraswati. So here it is. Esha Susaki, Esha Sunayika, Mahamitram, Taya Saha Yatram Puru, Vedaha Saralaha, Sunishchayaha Cha. So it's saying this is the Sanskrit language he's talking about. So this Sanskrit language is the good companion, the good guide, and the great friend. Journey with it, and the way that's simple and short. I think that has carried me many, many times. I go back to that saying over and over again. I love this. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I had not heard this one before, but I'm glad I asked you this question and I got an answer to this. Thank you.
Nice. So,
many people think that Samskritam is a dead language. How do we make Samskritam learning more opportunity filled so that more people learn? And also, do you see an opportunity bigger than livelihood in Sanskrit, in learning Sanskrit?
So, of course, what I've seen in the Gurukula, students go there and they spend their teenage years learning this language, and then they become very successul in their lives. So I can see firsthand how in India this has been done. Now, it's unusual, a Gurukula like the one I know, Vedavad Vijnana Gurukula, is unusual. There are Tira too, Prabodhini and Maitreyi Gurukula. Oh, I find them extraordinary places. They're full of well-being, they're full of sattva. You feel the samsara is outside the gates and you're safe, you're protected. And and it also gives people a livelihood. So they don't just say to the students, now goodbye. Again, these are the real teachers who look after you when you've finished your education. And they'll guide the students in marriage, in their jobs, in everything. So that's the big heart of Sanskrit speaking to me. When I see that, I can see how amazing it can be. We are far removed from that in Ireland. We can't just start, a Gurukula in Ireland as simply as that. It will take time. But I think people who think Sanskrit is a dead language, they're a little bit dead themselves. Really, if they woke up, they would realize that's not true. So we are now all looking for physical and mental well-being in the world, aren't we? So, for example, where our children in schools are not in good shape, and our Department of Education has asked the teachers, please teach well-being to our children. The children are suffering from anxiety, depression, stress, loneliness, attention deficiency disorders, panic attacks. They lead them to addiction, online addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, too much time on our mobile phones, too many video games, pornography, unhealthy eating habits, poor sleep, lethargy, gambling, self-harming, and even suicide. So this is what we are facing in our society. So there is a real crying need to address that with really tested methods which are ancient. So take Ayurveda and Yoga Sutras. They will look after you properly if you study those. I teach this to children. They're usually around 12 to 15. And they love hearing what they need to hear there, and they try it out, and they come back, and they say, this is working. I'm sleeping better. Or, I'm now doing certain things to make it. So they are beginning to practice disciplines in their lives. Nobody forces them to do that. So their parents are at a loss. So the schools really need to help children. And so it's more than just a fancy thing to study. It's actually a matter of well-being. And we're beginning to realize well-being is at the heart of our problems. If it's not there, how can we carry on? And so in the West, money is not usually the problem. People have enough money. The problem is that they can't live, they may have nice beds, but they don't sleep well, etc. So you may have all sort of material comforts, but that doesn't mean that you are now in a good place. Not the opposite. Our children are very mopey usually. They're negative, so all that needs to be addressed. And I think this is the way forward. This language will do it with all its wisdom. Yeah. So I think it's not a matter of just, it's a matter of necessity rather than a matter of just, it's a nice idea. Yeah. So does that help?
Yeah, very true. And I think you have very well summarized as to it's much beyond learning. It's not just livelihood and why one should learn Sanskrit.
Yeah.
भवतः जन्म पाश्चात्ये अभूत्. जीवनम् आधिक्येन पाश्चात्यदेशेषु व्यापितम्. अतः तत्रत्य संस्कृतेः परिचयः पूर्णतया विद्यते. संस्कृतं शास्त्रं च अधीत्य काचन नूतन संस्कृतिः अपि अनुभूता इति मनसि एकः भावः उदितो वा?
आम्. भारते भक्तिभावनम् अधिकम् अनुभवामि. तत्र श्रद्धायां विश्वासः अधिकः अस्ति. देवभक्तः देशभक्ताः च अधिकाः सन्ति. भारतदेशे बहूनि वस्तूनि पवित्राणि. वृक्षः, गावः, प्रकृतिः, अन्तरिक्षं, भूमिः, आपः, अग्निः, वायुः, आकाशः, मनः, पुस्तकानि, बहूनि क्षेत्राणि इत्यादीनि च पवित्राणि. भक्ताः प्रार्थनाः कुर्वन्ति. एते जनाः देवभ्यः देवीभ्यः च नमस्कारं कुर्वन्ति. सर्वेषाम् आचरणं पश्चात्ये बहु न अनुभवामि. एतेन आचरणेन सम्माननम् आदरः च अन्येभ्यः दृश्यते. प्रकृतेः समाननं, ज्ञानानां समाननं, अधिदैवस्य समाननं, अध्यात्मस्य च समाननम्. अतः एतादृशेन आचरणेन इयं भूमिः रक्षिता अस्ति. एतेन च सर्वत्र जनाः अन्तः शान्तिं लप्स्यन्ते. ओम इति शान्तिः.
धन्यवादः.
अस्ति.
There is a quote in Sanskrit which says, Padam hi sarvatra gunair nidhiyate. Virtues put their footprints everywhere. Rutger Mahodaya, you are a true example for this. Dhanyavada. For showing us so many aspects about this extraordinary journey of yours. It's inspiring to see you cross so many boundaries and bridges to learn Samskritam and impart the same to people of different culture altogether. Your journey is truly inspiring to all of us and also the listeners in quest of Sanskrit. It's commendable that our Indian government is recognizing such hidden talents and honoring the contributions in recognition to the achievements in all disciplines. Once again, hearty congratulations, Padma Shri Rutger Mahodaya, and thanks a lot on behalf of Sattva, Dr. Swaroop, Dr. Arvind, Ramnath, Neil, and myself. Thank you for your valuable time.
Swagatam. It was a pleasure. Astu.
Yeah.
Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.